This guy's fault that my room is all disastrous here. I want to see you and this stuff, Star of Death Proof, Face Off, Thunder Beyond Garbage Dome. I'm like a Quentin Tarantino super god of entertainment. I just don't have the right resources. So I don't want to produce like a video just like all these other YouTube douchebags. But I could share some of my ideas with you. Like shit that'll just make you go, whoa, I do wonder the answer for that. So, if endorphins are related to the feeling of an orgasm and why an orgasm feels good, does that mean if you jack off on speed, is that like a speedball or something? I mean, if I was a research chemist, I'd have machines so that I could analyze this shit, but they just don't let regular people do that. I have a whole book of these things that I write down that I'm just waiting to unleash as soon as I have the mechanical measuring devices to find out if it's true or not. I got some crazy ideas. Like, think about this. Think if you took the actor Will Ferrell, if you made him say that he was a bad actor, it would create a fucking paradox that would just implode the universe because it's not true. And I even steal my voice tone from Will Ferrell movies, if you can tell how I'm talking now. Up, down, so down. Oh, it's so fucking up. So I guess, shocking news, some drugs are more addicted to some people than others. I can't even take like the smallest amount of Adderall or I'm fucking in a world of depression when I come down. That's why I never take the shit. I take opiates for energy. Ugh.
Kermit the Frog exposed the flaw.
He sure did. Oh. Like, if I hear 1,000 people died on the news, it doesn't matter to me whether I see it or not. I already know fucked up shit happens. It doesn't bother me in the least to watch it. I do read a lot of pharmacology books. I do know a lot of prescribers, and I do look at the network of people who connect on the internet and talk about pharmacology knowledge, and I have learned a lot from that. But all it does is make me wonder more things that I can't investigate because I don't have access to well, any of the drugs firsthand, but to a large test group, to brain scans that can measure these things. I just have nobody. I have one schizophrenic, so it's gonna take. And I want to know more. I'm gonna spend like 15 years like reading, and that's when you'll see the next Bizarre Drugs episode. Yeah, I know my iPod is slanted, is broken. Take things like the sleep medication review, or most of my reviews of drugs. They're usually like, you can look something up on Wikipedia or even pharmacology books. Now, if you've ever looked on, if you're a nurse practitioner or a prescriber, there's websites where there's mass communication to know about drugs, and that's where you learn the truth, where they learn that even like recent texts of 2009 are wrong sometimes, and that's where the true shit is at. Well, what I do is basically I look on the internet, I check what is supposed to be reputable pharmacology text. I look at what it says, and sometimes it's just wrong, or sometimes I can actually test it. Like with the sleep medication review, I've tried a lot of sleep medications, and I had a lot of shit to say that is a big add-on to whatever you will find on the internet. It is a lot more truthful than any information you're going to find on sleep medication. Why? I get that shit like you should try morning glory seeds and DMT, DMT, DMT. All I could say is that, yeah, it works. With like morning glory seeds, we all know that the potency varies from all the shit. So what could I tell you? I'm frying. When I told you about the LSA seeds, I thought I felt a little bit sleepy, which is strange. Like, I saw somewhere where it was listed as a sedative, but that is not true. Now, John ate 30 of them, and he told me that he fried that day, but he also told me that he fried the day that he ate 6. I ate 6 with no tolerance and did not fry, and I would believe that John would be a guy who would believe a placebo. I'm busy throughout the day, so the time that I actually have to come up with ideas is when I take sleeping pills, and then when I try and look at it, it's like, me, el place, how. Some of them I do understand, and they're the same ideas that I had already before I took benzos, but for some reason I think they're like, fucking wow, I'm wowed by them when I'm on sleeping pills, so I try and write them down. Point out logic flaws, no shit. Have you ever noticed this, like if you commit a crime or something, like there's a dead lady or something, and like if you admit to a lesser crime, it makes you seem more credible, like, yeah, I did steal her money, but I didn't kill her, when you actually killed her and stole her money. Well, just that sort of concept. Maybe I could have more credibility with people if I told you, yeah, you know, it's fun, it can hurt your stomach a little bit, but it certainly doesn't make you delirious or something. Like, sort of like, oh, I get honesty points. Yeah, it's kind of bad when it's actually really fucking bad. I don't know if that kind of testing will work. I gotta think of better ways to trick people when the only two test subjects are the same people that they know that I've tricked them before. The schizophrenic guy was sitting on the couch on a bunch of mushrooms one time, and he's a paranoid guy already. I told him that nobody around him actually had a soul, and he was actually trapped in his own hell with, like, the whole universe was just him and nobody else, and he just created it because he's insane. And even that kind of shit, he laughed at me. I could tell him he's going to hell on salvia, and he'll just... People already know my shtick. I got 3 people to torture. Can't even freak out a paranoid schizophrenic on mushrooms. And I'll wake up without any coffee whatsoever. Oh yeah, update. John still needs to be punched in the face.
Oh, okay.
He'll just fucking scream out like that, like all the time with his chicken noises. I guess, I don't know if that's one of the qualities of being a fake schizophrenic or not, or something. That your fucking ploy. I know what I'm gonna do when I'll know what I'm not gonna do when I'm trying to fake schizophrenia. You fucking faker. Alright, yeah, coffee. I drank it for a year, like 6 cups a day. Then I stopped drinking it recently. I haven't noticed any noticeable physical withdrawals, of course, because it works with the dopamine receptor. It probably does cause some damage, but I read on a Wikipedia page or something that you have to go above. Actually, I've read this from more reputable texts. Pharmacology books say that you have to go over what they call a time and a half, what the regular units of dopamine uptake is before you start getting negative feedback. I still think if you mess with it, you get, there's probably some sort of damage that is unperceptible to a human. So coffee isn't noticeably addictive for me. I've heard from people different things, like they'll say like, benzos, I can't take those because they're too addictive. I'm like, what? I take about 60 in addition to 45 Ambien a month, I take 60 temazepam to go to sleep. I usually take about 9 and 9.